Welcome to Technado with Don Pizzette, featuring sysadmin expert Don Pizzette, security specialist Daniel Lowry, and Peter.
Hello and welcome to Technado with Don Pizzette. I'm your host, Peter Van Rysdam, and I am joined on this special Best of 2021 episode by Don Pizzette. Don, how are you?
I am doing great. It is a festive holiday season, and so like many entertainment professionals, we are phoning it in this week and doing a highlight reel. It'll be great.
Yep, it's like that episode, Full House, where they look back on the week, and you can tell they
See,
they didn't do
I was
anything.
thinking more like the Chris Farley show. Remember?
Oh, yeah.
Remember when we had?
Remember when you were in the Beatles?
Yeah, it was awesome.
Remember when they said you were dead?
Yeah,
Is that true?
that was awesome.
Yeah.
That's Daniel Lowry. Daniel,
Hey.
how's it going?
I'm remembering how it was going many times ago.
That's good, because that's what we're doing today is remembering.
Good.
We're going to look back at all the podcast guests we've lost this year in our In Memoriam segment.
It got dark quick.
Yeah, run that. Nobody?
Yeah, nobody.
Fantastic.
All
Or
right.
at least the families didn't call us.
No, not yet.
That's good. Yeah,
They're getting their Outlook template
their
out
lawyers
right
will
now.
call
Yeah.
after this. All right. Well, let's start. We're gonna look at our favorite guests of the year. We're gonna look at the favorite articles that we talked about, and typically do the guests first. So let's talk about our favorite guest to start. And Don, why don't you go first? Who was yours and why?
Sure. It's hard to pick a favorite guest because we had a lot, and some of them I like because they were just great people. They're easy to talk to. Some were amazing companies or products. Every now and then, we get a chance to interview somebody where the two kind of overlap. You get somebody who's just fun to talk to, but also has a great product. And so for me this year, that would be the interview we did with Adam Dara, who was from Vigilante.io, which we kind of made fun of the Vigilante name a bit, but it was a very cool company. So cool that they've actually merged with, what's the company? ZeroFox. So, a lot changes. We used to talk about that, the Technado factor that companies would get acquired after being on the show.
Are they still Vigilante or are they now ZeroFox?
So it's still like you can go to Vigilante.io.
Yeah.
But the very first thing you see is Vigilante plus ZeroFox.
Okay.
And then it takes you over to the ZeroFox page. So I think they've pretty much chosen the ZeroFox name now.
Okay. It's good to know.
Yeah.
Good to
And
know.
he was the one that had a lot of Russian experience, right?
So he was the one who was actually involved with the U.S. government and doing some of the behind the scenes things. And that's why I like talking to him so much, because the question I asked him was, from the outside, it kind of looks like our government is sitting on their hands and we're getting attacked left and right and it totally sucks. Is it like that? And so he was able to give us a little bit of insight into that. So it was really kind of an informative interview.
Well, you might be wondering, what was the answer to that? So let's take a look at a quick clip from that episode and see what Adam had to say. So we talk all the time on this show about different hacks and nation-state hacking, like North Korea's, funding their entire country with hacking. But Russia kind of seems to be your area of focus, and I'm curious, are they? Would you say they're the premier, kind of the best at hacking, or are they just the ones we hear about more? And are we as good as they are?
Wow, that's a loaded question. Do I still only get a minute? So in short, in my personal opinion, Russia is the most sophisticated as far as their mindset and their capabilities. They just have a different goal than very capable nation states like North Korea, Iran, and China. And in their lane and what they do with regard to cyber security, offensive operations or intelligence gathering operations, signals intelligence. In my opinion, they're the best. They're our most formidable adversary, next to the United States of America. I think we
America.
do. Yeah, that's right, man. We do undersell ourselves, and a lot of that may be messaging and intentional. But we have a very capable workforce. We have we have proven processes that work, and we're more agile than people think. And so, at the end of the day, it's not better, but it's like we are formidable adversaries. Let me just say that we tip our hats to them, and we don't know what maybe they tip our hats to us in a dark closet somewhere, but
Those furry hats.
Yeah,
they're very great.
I do find it interesting that we do hear a lot about Russian hacking and how they're just like, oh yes, we hack you. That's what it's how it works. You go down. That's it's always like this Russian hacker disclosed this and this Russian hacker disclosed that. Russian hacking firm does this. I mean, it's like they don't care about sharing that they're kicking everybody's tail when it comes to hacking stuff. And if you want to be on the dark side of stuff, come on to Russia and we'll help you out.
Yeah, job
Their
opportunities.
training is amazing. Their talent pool is they have a deep bench, and they are formidable for sure.
So you studied in both undergrad and grad school Russian literature and Russian language. Did you foresee this coming, and that you wanted to get into this field, or are you just a big fan of like Tolstoy?
I prefer Dostoevsky, but yeah. So what? That's a very good question. Let me just say that having spent some time there at various stages of my life, what I was reading about in the news, and again, like this isn't a dig on us or our news, but when you are on the ground and you're seeing this rapid change, Russia was on the move to modernize their approach to most things: politics, economics, military, technology, and that includes everything. And I don't think. And so when I was seeing that mismatch on the ground between what I was, what I read about, and it's like, no, it's not the Soviet Union, and no, it's not even the 90s. The 90s was a very hard time for a lot of the former Soviet states, and to see the changes on the ground happening so quickly, like, okay, there's something here. There's something here, and to be able to provide that context to my government and that insight, I felt like was an honor to even be considered for the job, but much less to get a job like that where you can give back, with your expertise and your own experiences, as well as what you learn once you're inside and you read really interesting things. So, yeah, it worked out. It was a freak coincidence that I made the cut. That sounds so weird to say because I remember going up against some people I worked with were just really, really smart, and I felt like a fish out of water every day.
If you love Russia so much, well.
Still like my interrogator.
And by the way, I realized that I don't have like any American songs on my soundboard here. When we said America, it's like the closest I had is yeah. So it's not really.
Yeah, doesn't quite work.
So,
I mean, the Dukes of Hazzard is an American institution.
American show, yeah.
I mean, come on.
all right, thank you, Adam. And I remember one of my favorite parts of that one was also where Daniel was like, "Oh, I heard you worked in some 3-letter organizations. You were like FDA or or you listed one that was a 4-letter. No, not Food and Drug. I don't know, but whatever.
That would be the FDA.
Yeah, that is. Yeah, NAA. No, that's not
Too many letters.
I'm not sure. But yeah, I guess we'll never know where he really worked, which is the point of all that. But yeah, fun interview. I almost picked him too. I went back and watched.
Did he even exist?
Yeah, I don't know. No one's seen him again.
That's right.
He's been acquired by Fox. All right, Daniel, you also had a favorite. Who was your favorite?
Of course,
from this year?
my favorite was obviously had to be John Hammond. We've done a lot of stuff with him this year at IT Pro TV. Having him on the podcast was a lot of fun. He's just been a great dude, has a lot of really cool insights into the business. He does malware analysis for a living, so being able to kind of pick his brain on how he's gained his skills and what you can do with that, and seeing kind of the things that he does in his career has been just really interesting for me. I've kind of oddly gotten into malware development, and he does malware analysis. So learning
Huntress,
things,
right?
He works for Huntress, exactly. Doing that on a day-to-day basis and trying to keep things more secure, adding to the security landscape of, hey, we found these IOCs that we can now add to the list of IOCs that you can now hunt for. It was just a lot of fun. And then, of course, we played a game with him, which was an incredibly entertaining good time for me. So I always enjoy hanging out with John. I almost would consider him more than an acquaintance, a bit of a friend. We get really friendly when we have, the pre-banter and all that stuff we get to do with him. So
yeah, he
he's
does
been a
kind of
good
plug
dude.
right into the
he
show.
does.
I felt like he was part of it. And we've done different videos with him and realized we haven't had you on the podcast yet. So let's get you on here.
Got to bring him on.
Yeah, and as you said, the game that we played with him was Malware or Wrapper, where we said the name of a malware or a wrapper, and you had to guess. And I I don't remember who won, but if we could go back
If only.
and see. So let's take a quick look at just a little bit of that game because I think we ended up playing that game for like 20 minutes on the show.
was a long time.
Let's take a quick look at that clip. Xcode Ghost. Xcode Ghost, all one word, done.
Malware.
Okay. Daniel
Malware.
and John.
Malware.
And you are all correct. It's a modified version of Xcode, Apple's software development environment, first found in China in 2015.
I was gonna say it was a modified version of your mom.
I think we reported on that one because
We might
any
have.
app you compiled with it was infected.
Yep. And
nice.
they passed Apple's approval to be uploaded to the App Store because the way they were made.
Apple's
So.
so stupid.
Dummies. All right, I've got it as 13 for John, 13 for Daniel, and 12 for Don.
Wow,
so there's
neck and neck.
Still a chance here. Next up is Doja Cat. Doja, and then cat, spelled like cat. Don.
Sounds rapper to me.
Okay, Daniel.
Malware.
Okay, and John.
I'm struggling. Thinking malware.
Okay, and I am sorry to you two, but Forbes named Doja Cat one of the top breakout stars in 2020 and listed her on their annual 30 Under 30 list. She's featured in one of my favorite new songs, Best Friend.
Best friend.
Yeah, good song.
Fun for the whole family.
It's a
I'm sure.
banger. It's a
So
banger.
now we are tied across the board, right?
We are.
We are 13 all. All right, two more. All right, next up is My Doom. My Doom. And let's go with Daniel.
Feel malware on that one.
Okay, John, what you thinking?
I'm feeling malware as well.
Okay, and Don.
I'm going to go malware, but it could be a cool rapper name.
It'd be a cool rap
Okay.
name, but it is not. My Doom is a well-known worm that spread by email in 2004 as a message indicating an email delivery error. So
Not as
opening,
cool as like Tulsa Doom. That's
Yeah.
it.
sure,
Yeah.
Tulsa
Now you're
Doom.
talking.
All right, here's the last one. Ransom. Ransom.
Ransom.
Ransom. Don.
Mel Gibson movie.
Yes.
It is that.
I'll go rapper.
Okay, Daniel.
It was a tough decision, but I feel like rapper is where I should go.
Okay, John.
So I'd have to say rapper.
And you guys are all correct. Noah Gale, known by his stage name Ro Ransom, is a rapper from Manhattan, New York. He had a breakthrough hit with his 2016 single "See Me Fall."
Little
From
known
hell.
fact, he actually bankrolled that record with ransom money.
Yeah, it's all.
He stole a bunch of
Bitcoin, dude.
kids. Said, "Hey,
I am
you
really
want 'em back?"
pissed that we're all tied.
Mel Gibson came out.
15. That's really disappointing, guys.
15 out of 20. Well, hey,
Hey, that's not bad, right there.
I was worried. I was like, my professional reputation is on the line. Like, really competitive.
So, just for the record, like your professional reputation was on the line the moment you came on this
Yeah.
podcast, game or not.
You threw that on the ground and
Yeah, it's
just
over.
stomped all over it. Yeah. Michael Flatley came out and did a river dance on it.
All right, that was a lot of fun. We gotta play more games like that. I will think of one before next week, possibly,
Reach out to John.
or I'll just make up.
John, remember the
Something on
time
the
we
spot.
played that game?
That was fun.
It was awesome.
All right. Next up, me. I had a favorite too, and it is from episode 191. We had Rita Gurovich, who she founded the company Sphere Technology Solutions, and I mean, we talked a little bit about what they do, like access control and stuff like that. But what I found really interesting was she had something on her resume, which to a lot of people would be like a black eye, and she was able to turn it into something good. So
She was the chick that went to prison.
yeah. Yeah. She had the teardrop
Yeah.
tattoos and stuff. No, she worked at Lehman Brothers.
That's right.
At the wrong time.
At the
and,
wrong time.
And rather than, having that be something that's a black mark, she was able to actually kind of turn that into how she founded this company, cybersecurity company that, has become very successful. So let's take a quick look at her explaining how she was able to turn that all around.
Now, Rita, you are a founder of the company, and I'm always curious when we get to interview founders on how they ended up where they are. And I know in the past you worked at Lehman Brothers, which is a company many of us are aware of because of their very public bankruptcy they went through. Did that experience contribute to where you are now, or was it something else that made you say, I should found this company? I've got a great idea.
That's a great question. So 100,000,000% yes. That is the reason I started my company. So I worked at Lehman Brothers, all on the technology side, not on the business side. I always say I had nothing to do with mortgage-backed securities. All on the tech side. And I was put on a SWAT team where we essentially had to desegregate all of their data. So imagine almost overnight, you had all these entities that bought parts of the Lehman umbrella, Nomura, Barclays, Neuberger Berman, and we had to figure out almost overnight how to take 100-plus-year-old companies, very centralized infrastructure, and figure out who gets what. And we had to use the tools that we already deployed, analytics and algorithms that we had to develop and come up with almost on the fly to be able to figure out how do you split apart all of these technology assets. So when I started Sphere, honestly, it was to go to the big banks and say, hey, I have some really interesting experience doing deep data analytics. Over time, obviously, the CISO organizations became a lot larger and had a lot more requirements. So we started to overlay security metrics alongside what we were originally doing. And there came Sphere.
All right. And one of the reasons that I actually was reminded about Rita and went back and checked some of that episode out is we are doing a panel discussion now at RSA that has just been approved that is actually taking place with your favorite guest and my favorite guest and Don Pezet and John Strand from Black Hills Information Security. So it's going to be, Don, John Hammond, Rita, and Don. And Don, what are you guys talking about in that panel?
So we're going to be talking about the
Do you know?
Well,
Do you know?
I do know. I'm trying to remember the right word
we haven't
for it,
prepped
right?
you
The,
yet.
the job gap. You know, that they'd say it's so
skills gap.
hard
Skills gap,
to
yeah.
find. The skills gap. That's the word. I'm just trying to remember the right word.
Job hole, something.
About how hard it is to find people in the cybersecurity industry. Well, we thought it would be cool. Let's get people that actually are out in the
there,
field practicing, and see what it's like out there. Is this a real thing? Is it a fact or is it a myth? Is this just not true? Because it seems like there's a ton of jobs out there and there's a ton of people getting trained and getting jobs. I'm not sure there is a skills gap. So we'll find out.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, why?
I would tend to agree with you on that. I don't want to get into that conversation just yet, but yeah, I can't wait to hear that.
Yeah, and John's going to be able to tell you, John Hammond's going to be able to tell you, how you can get hands-on skills through, a lot of capture the flags and stuff he talks about all the time on YouTube. I mean, John Strand is going to be able to tell you, about his experiences and what he looks for in hiring. Rita, the same thing, because she started, her own thing. And Don's going to be able to talk about, do you need a degree or certification's fine, all those kinds of things. So it's going to be interesting because we, you guys are like-minded, but we still have a lot of different cool perspectives on the panel. So excited. All right. And I'm sure a lot of people are excited to get back to RSA. Did they do it in person last year? I think they still did, but it was smaller.
Last
Or
year?
not
Maybe not
sure.
No, it was
last
San
year.
Francisco, so I doubt they would have.
I doubt it highly.
All right. Well, let's shift gears now and look at our favorite articles from this past year. And Don, I know you had a couple, actually. You kind of had a serious one and a fun one. So let's look at your serious one first, and it is from ZDNet. This was back, let's see, this was early on in the year, January 23rd.
Both of mine were from early. It was comedic gold back in January and February.
Sonic Wall says it was hacked using 0 days in its own products. The networking device vendor has published a series of mitigations as it's investigating the incident and preparing patches. And I assume those mitigations were stop using our products. It will hack you.
Yeah.
The big positive to come out of this is that nobody can accuse Sonic Wall of not using their own hardware because obviously they do.
Yeah.
I thought it was just ironic that they,
funny.
as a security company, got breached because their security hardware had 0 days. And so it was just, the article just went full circle. It was perfect.
It's kind of funny. Is there companies out there that don't have 0 days that we just don't know about yet, right? That's basically what it boils down to.
I'm sure.
I feel bad for everybody getting busted with 0 days. It's been like 0 day a palooza with the last 6 months. It's just nuts.
And you have to disclose, kind of in this day and age. So it's kind of like, in this case, being the guy that goes to the hospital, I got shot by myself.
Yeah. Here's the thing. Guns are dangerous. Yeah. If you point them at yourself and pull the trigger, you
My
get
dog
shot.
shot me. It happens to everybody.
Yep.
That was a fun one, but not quite as fun as the next one. The article that we're looking at was on BBC, but it's actually happened in the U.S. the headline is, "I'm not a cat. Lawyer uses Zoom filter by mistake." And I mean, it's 2021. This was February 21, and we'd been in the pandemic almost a year at this point. You'd think people would have figured this stuff out, but this guy just could not turn off the Zoom filter.
This was one of those incidents where I think everybody could relate to it. Like, everybody's had a problem with a video conference. Maybe your microphone didn't work, your camera didn't work. This one was a little extreme because it was a cat, and
And it was in court.
and the conversation you had with the judge was pretty funny. And I feel like everyone, whether you were new to IT or old school IT, like, everybody could appreciate the humor of this one.
This seems like a Rob Schneider movie. Rob Schneider is the cat. Yeah.
Oh man! But so the fact that he felt he had to tell the judge, "Your Honor, I'm not a cat," because that's what the
He's
judge
like,
was thinking.
I don't believe that's true, sir.
So you're represented by a talking cat?
You know, I have 2 eyes and can see very well that you indeed are a cat.
Your cat mouth is moving. Your cat eyes are moving because
And
that filter is so
I will
good.
say you are cute.
Yeah. Case dismissed.
The cat defense wins again.
It's like the caveman lawyer. Like, I might just be a cat.
Yeah, I like to have paws and play with yarn, but it seems to me
I don't know much.
Your video conferencing technology frightens and confuses me.
yes, it does.
Oh man, yeah. If you haven't watched that one, or it's been a year since you've watched it, go back and watch "I Am Not a Cat."
I am not a cat.
I'm sure you just search "cat lawyer" these days on YouTube, and that will come up. That was a fun one.
Search cat lawyer on tour. See what that
Yeah.
yeah.
Don't do that. Don't do that. Because we found out last week that one person controls all of Tor.
Yeah. Barely 900.
Dun dun dun.
Crazy.
All right, Daniel, you had one too about someone using some old technology. What was your fave?
Oh man, I just thought that was a really cool thing that this old legacy technology got implemented one day by this guy running an RV camp, right? Kind of like a KOA kind of thing where he has spots you can roll your RVs in there, you get power and water and everything and have a good time. And to control what spaces are open or to understand what spaces are available and who's doing what and basically administer the whole system is running on this old Atari ST, right? He's writing his own code. He's maintaining this thing since, goodness gracious, 36 years.
Yeah, so the 1980s.
Yeah, this guy's been running this since 36 years. A prime example of if it ain't broke, don't update it, right?
Yeah.
He doesn't have to worry about, it's all self-contained. It's not connected to the internet. He doesn't have to worry about
because he's
people.
taking the calls and doing the bookings
Exactly.
there.
It's just to me, it's just very charming to see someone still running that stuff going, why? It does the exact thing I need to do. Why would I not use it? And I was like, that's a good argument. I like where your head's at and just thought it was really cool.
And I'll tell you what's not charming is the guy's website. It was.
It's still in GeoCities.
It makes GeoCities look like new and cutting edge. It's
that's funny.
Bomber. Well, it's Dutch, so BOHMERWALD.NL, and it's got a great property map there, and you can tell that there are things that were exported from that Atari system, like in this kind of like grayscale map and stuff. Is fantastic. So check that out. But really cool that, like you said, if it ain't broke, don't
break
fix
it till it is.
Yeah, if it ain't broke, break it.
Yeah,
And,
fix it till it's broke.
yeah, because that is a gross looking computer though. At this point, it is very yellow. All right, what do we got next? Oh, me. My favorite was an article that came to us from ArsTechnica.com. Tesla owner who, quote, drives from the back seat got arrested, then did it again. A man jailed for leaving driver's seat empty, says he feels safer in the back seat, which is total crap because I watched his Instagram.
I was going to say, this wasn't that D-bag
It
that
was
had the
total
cat. Like,
D-bag.
I'll just go buy another one.
Yeah, he's like, oh,
was him.
you impound my car? Well, I'll get another one. And I went back to see, because I looked at his Instagram to see if he had new videos on there, and he had a couple, but he's driving a McLaren now, talking about how people are like, oh, anybody can get a Tesla. Well, I got a McLaren now, y'all. So there's not a lot of people that I just haven't met in person that I would just like to punch.
I feel like
this guy's
he's the
up there.
reason that certain cultures hate us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If we're represented that way, I understand.
He kind of reminds me of that medical executive guy.
Oh yes, Pharma
Medical
Bro.
executive.
Yeah, he was all like smug in court. He's in jail now. So.
Shirelli or something.
That's
like that?
it, yeah.
Martin, I think.
He's got a name that sounds like he should be Martin Spirelli.
No, something like that. Yeah, but
Sclarelli, I think.
Sclarelli.
Something like that.
Bro.
But he bought that Wu-Tang album
Yes.
that they only made one of, and
What?
yeah,
For like $2 million. or
the
something.
government just
Never
auctioned
heard of
off.
this.
So yeah.
Martin Shkreli. He basically took a company that made some was it an AIDS medication or something? They
I
made a
thought it
medication
was,
and it cost $200, and he said, well, why don't we charge $4,000 and we can make all this money, and they did make a lot of money
For a while.
Yeah.
until people were
Until
like,
prison began.
you're a jerk,
Yeah.
and yeah, very punchable face as well.
Nice.
One
Nice.
of the world's.
I'm pretty good at punching.
You should
I
meet
should give it
him.
a shot.
You should get arrested for some small crime.
Yeah.
Go to jail.
So you're my cellmate, are you? I'm gonna need you to stand right here.
Are you that Martin guy?
Just
Oh,
lift your
man.
head just a tad, and
I'm
now
gonna punch you in the face.
you close your eyes if you like.
Doesn't make a difference.
Yeah, they're gonna be closed here in a second.
Yeah, my hand's big enough to do both eyes.
Yeah,
at
man,
once.
I get you one shot.
Hey, we want to know, who was your favorite guest this year? What was your favorite article? So head over to technado.com. There's a form there. You can give us some feedback. Let us know what your favorite was, and we can reminisce with you. And when you're on that page, you can also subscribe and check out some of our swag. And you can hit that big orange button in the corner that says sponsored by IT Pro TV, and you can check out all the great features from IT Pro TV and get a 30% off coupon code for the lifetime of your personal plan. And as we're heading to the new year, this is that time to make that resolution to finally get that certification or learn that new skill. So you go ahead and register for that. Best time to do it is now.
You
Best time's the
should
present.
make that IT Pro TV button a picture of that Martin dude's face.
Oh, so you punch it. Yeah.
Turn the cursor into a fist.
Punch
and
this with your. Oh my God!
Be
Yeah,
like the old Flash games.
Yeah.
that would really fit in with that campground website theme of.
That would be kind of
90s.
funny if like for this episode we changed all that to have all those elements
like
in that
that.
page. That'd be kind of funny.
Sounds like a lot of work.
There's also great stuff.
I
for
didn't say I was
teams.
going to do it.
There's also great stuff for teams from IT Pro TV, and it talks all about that as well, like the Pro Portal. So if you've got a company and you want to get the whole IT team up to speed, we can help you out there as well. So check that out over at technado.com. Well, guys, we still have another fun episode next week because, it's that kind of week between Christmas and New Year where I'm not working.
No. I literally am not working. That's for sure.
Yeah. So, look forward to that. Maybe I will come up with a game by then.
You can do it.
We'll see.
We have faith in you.
Otherwise, we have to play one of the good old drinking games
Yeah.
and
With antifreeze.
record the best episode ever.
Flip Cup really comes through on an audio version of the podcast. Did it flip? No. Did it flip? No. Well, you can hear the sound. It's
Yeah, you get the idea.
All right. Well, thanks, everybody, and thank you all for watching, and we'll see you next week right here on TechNado with Don Pizzette.